Joanne May here. I'm going to show you how to make a Pinkie house. This is made out of tape, and it's a place for children who are learning to hold the bow can be guided by this tape that is on the frog. You can see the inside of it is just a circle, and it's sticky on the inside, and it just gets taped on the frog. This is a part of a bow. My repairman makes these out of bows that are warped, and so they're very useful for teaching bow technique for children, especially when they're learning. So this is how the child will use it, and it usually lasts about maybe 3-4 months before it completely falls apart. If it collapses and sticks together like this, then you can just make another one for your kids. So I'll take this off and show you how I make it. I start with duct tape, or this is actually a different company than the duct company. It's 3M. I don't know if you can see the inside brand. And I also have some gray that we use around the house. It's Nashua brand. So these are just various companies that make this tape. The tape is very sturdy. I would not use thin tape like a washi tape. That's not so good. They collapse way too easily. Or electrical tape is not so good because it's very sticky. That black electrical tape is good for working around the house on electrical things, but not so good for this purpose. The adhesive on these tapes are sticky enough to hold on, but they don't leave any residue. I just took that off of this frog, and there's nothing left behind. It comes off very easily. So I just pull a piece out approximately 2 to 3 inches long. I'll cut, or once I get it started, it tears very easily. And then from this, I want to make several different strips. So about maybe 1/4 of an inch wide on the strip. And again, once it starts, it'll tear evenly because it's a fabric. And then I can just leave it there. This is probably a little bit too long, but I'll make maybe about 6 pieces like this. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking I'll probably trim them down a little bit. Depending on your students, this takes a little while to do. If you have lots of students and you want them all to have these, sometimes I ask them to bring me their instruments ahead of the class. Sometimes I have time in the morning before school, and I can do several of these at one time. Other times, if I'm just working with one student in a studio, very easily do it during their lesson time. So now these are a little bit long. I'm going to cut this a little shorter. So now this first piece is the one I want to measure. If I have a student who's somewhat larger or smaller than average, I might ask them to hold their pinky up so I can measure around them, and I'll just put the tape on their pinky like this near the nail, the fingernail, and go around the pinky and make this little circle about the size that would fit them, approximately like that. It looks a little funny this way right now, but never fear, it can be adjusted. So I take this off of their finger, and then I just begin to build around it. So now I have a circle that's about the right size. You can estimate the size too. They usually work fairly well for lots of different sizes of children. And once having a little trouble with the sticky part on the inside. Once I have this circle this way, you can see that okay, then I'm ready to start putting pieces around it. So I'll take the longer piece. Because it's not sturdy enough with one, I want to put several layers. So I'll use this longer piece, and I will go around the circle this way, and around again. And probably because that was longer, I can do just one more piece, so it's getting more thickness around the walls of the circle. And I'll stick another piece on and go around and around again. Any size. Sometimes if I just have a very small piece left, I might even add that to it. So now it's feeling very sturdy. Since I have this small piece, I'm going to save it to use on the side now. That's about the right length to add to the side. So I'll put it on the side. That's going to stick onto the bow. And I want one more of those, so I'll cut another short piece, about like this. Put it on the other side. And now I'm ready to put it on the bow. Looks like this. And then I set it right above the dot. Usually works fairly well. Some children's hands are a little broader and it might need to go back here a little bit further, but I'm going to generally put it right over the dot for my students. And I just tape it down on one side, tape it down on the other side, and voila. We have a Pinkie house that is sticky on the inside, which holds the little finger in there very nicely, and also helps keep it rounded, and it shapes the hand fairly easily. So this is the Pinkie house made out of tape. Now one more step I will take is add another piece, because these strips that go this way tend to pull off of the circle. So if I add one more around, then that will stay on better, and it will last, as I said, several months for the children. And there is the Pinkie house. I hope this is helpful to you. Thanks.